a defamation lawsuit, Roger Stone has admitted to spreading lies about a self-exiled Chinese businessman living here in the United States. Now, he slandered the man on InfoWars and has now been forced to apologize for it. And even though he was sued for a large amount of money, $100 million to be exact, he has agreed to instead put out advertisements admitting that he had lied about this individual's reputation. Now, the agreement requires Stone to run ads in national newspapers, including the Wall Street Journal, apologizing for making defamatory statements about a Chinese businessman who is a vocal critic of Beijing. That's part of the reason why he's living here in the United States. It also requires Stone to publish a retraction of the false statements on social media. Doing so exempts him from paying any of the damages. Now, I wanna also just side note mention that he keeps talking about how, all these legal troubles and it's so expensive and I don't know how I'm gonna pay for all of this. And so he's fundraising, trying to get people to pay for his legal expenses. Now, I have no doubt that there are some legal expenses because he's a bad guy and he's involved in all sorts of shady stuff. But he will not have to pay that $100 million amount. Like, he is gonna put out those ads, but that's it. What did he say? How did he defame this Chinese businessman? Well, apparently, according to this settlement, it resulted from this lawsuit by the Chinese businessman who sued Stone for falsely accusing him of being a turncoat criminal who is convicted of crimes here and in China. That's what he said when he was on InfoWars. He further said or accused this businessman of violating US election laws, this is very funny and ironic, by making political donations to Hillary Clinton. So foreigners cannot make campaign contributions to US politicians. But Roger Stone lied and said that this Chinese businessman did so. Finally, the Chinese businessman claimed that Mr. Stone was paid to make the defamatory remarks about him on InfoWars. He said the payment ultimately came from a Chinese American media tycoon named Bruno Wu, who this Chinese businessman Guo previously accused of being a spy for the Chinese government.
Now, Bruno Wu and Guo are in a legal contest as well, accusing each other of several different things. But here's a couple of really important takeaways. Now, look, it's wonderful that there's at least a little bit of justice that is finally visited upon Roger Stone. And as I told you before, we were, of course, as always, shown to be right. He is, in this case, literally a proven liar, an adjudicated liar. And so that's a statement that you could say about him to the end of time. Everybody knows he's a liar. He brags about lying. But in this case, the second part's more important. It's fun to talk about, haha, they got Roger Stone. It's a bad guy, we all know it, etc. But an InfoWars putting things on there that is not factual. And and the sun rises, and in the east, goes down in the west, the sky is blue, the grass is green. We all know that, but having it go to court and then a settlement, et cetera, is a different animal altogether. But the second part's the important part. Look, the Chinese government does not like that Guo is criticizing them, and they made up some charges against them, and they want him back, kind of like the Saudis wanted Jamal Khashoggi back. And so when Roger Stone makes up lies about him and says he committed crimes in China and committed crimes here in America, well, it could have led to his deportation to China, where God knows what would have happened to him. Certainly prison for an incredibly long time. It appears completely unjustly. And remember, Roger Stone is deeply connected to Donald Trump. He's the man who convinced Trump to run in the first place. Could he have gotten Trump to then say, hey, look, the Chinese are looking for him, and actually send him back? I mean, we just saw that Trump, for an ally or someone he thinks is, if something benefits him, let the Saudis chop up a guy. So in this case, it's not funny. Roger Stone was looking to ruin this guy's life for money and didn't mind sending him back to a gulag, and perhaps even to be killed at some point. The Chinese have absurd laws on execution for a variety of offenses. I don't know that that would have happened to Guo in this case, but I tell you, I wouldn't want to be Guo if he got sent back to China. And Roger Stone is a despicable person Who would have done that to another human being, full well knowing that he's lying? He got paid to lie. And he thinks, oh, I ruined that guy's life, and he has to spend maybe the rest of his life in a Chinese prison, and his family's ruined and everything is ruined, but I made an extra $1. Of course I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
That's how, these are the monsters that we're dealing with.
So, and I also wanna note that the settlement does make one thing absolutely clear. So remember, the accusation was that there was a Chinese businessman who had basically given this information to Stone, and then Stone had defamed the plaintiff in this case, right? Now, Stone's settlement, this is noted in the settlement, identifies Mr. Wu, that's the businessman, as the apparent source of the information about Guo, and says it was conveyed to him by a former member of Mr. Trump's presidential campaign.
That's Sam Nunberg.
Yeah.
So now, speaking of Trump, there's another relationship here. Trump, of course, is back Stone all the way. Why? Because Stone has a lot of incriminating evidence on Donald Trump on probably a number of issues, and he is not cooperating with Mueller. So Trump keeps tweeting about how Stone's got guts, okay? Whereas Michael Cohen is a rat. I mean, how much like a mobster does he sound? It's ridiculous. He's like, that guy won't turn evidence against me. He's got guts, he's a good guy. The other one's a rat giving all the evidence. You idiot, you're accidentally admitting that you did it, right? But he's too stupid to realize that. But what's his main claim about Roger Stone and why he should be believed over Robert Mueller and the entire FBI? He says he has a lot of credibility. He is, in this case, literally a proven liar. Trump looks at that and does not see that as the bug, he sees it as the feature. And then he goes out and makes the preposterous case that Roger Stone has credibility, and that's why we should believe him over the FBI. Okay, Trump's a criminal, he's trying to cover his tracks. Roger Stone's a criminal, Roger Stone's a liar. These are now, at least some of it as you see here, like the lying part is clearly proven and admitted to, and he's gonna have to put it all over the papers. I'm a liar, I'm a liar, I'm a liar. And he tried to just absolutely destroy this guy's life. He's such a terrible person. But for all you MAGA guys, really? You think Roger Stone is the one that's credible? And Donald Trump is the one that's credible? Okay, listen, if you choose to be a moron, that's up to you. Nothing I could do about that. And Fox News, oh my God, defending guys like Roger Stone, it's humiliating, man. And by the way, thank you though. We appreciate you showing your true face. Through all of this, we got to see who the good guys and bad guys are. Before you could have said, hey, look, some people just have differences of opinion, and that turned out to be true in some cases. Chris Wallace has been pretty vigilant in holding conservatives accountable. He's still a conservative, I still disagree with him. Napolitano is very conservative, but has been absolutely vigilant about what's true and not true. So those are the heroes, even though I totally disagree with them on every other issue. Shep Smith has been vigilant. Almost everyone else at Fox News, Fox and Friends, Sean Hannity, Harris Faulkner lately, total embarrassments defending these monsters and obvious liars. And that goes on your career for the rest of the time. Enjoy that. 2 easy ways to follow the Young Turks. One is hit the subscribe button down below, then you're a TYT subscriber. And second is ring the bell. And when you do that on YouTube, you're notified of our videos.